Hey all my future buyers and sellers out there, I am here to teach you more than you knew before about the real estate process. And today we're going to be going over the 10 questions that you should ask before you buy your next piece of property. Let's get started. Hey, it's Ella with Ella Estate Realty, and today we're going over those 10 not so standard questions that you should be asking before you buy your next piece of property. Now, I'm not talking about that list that you've strategically put together with your trusted real estate agent where you need a basketball court and a volleyball court and a badminton court out back. Or you need those 4 ovens for holiday baking, standard. No, I'm talking about those questions that you know you need to ask, but you don't remember until you get fitted with the bill after the closing process ends. But you know what? We're going to skip that step altogether because you're here today and you're learning these questions. Make sure you stick around all the way to the end to test your knowledge and see if you know all 10 off the top of your head. Number 1, we're looking for those transparent glass boxes all over your house. Usually you look directly through them, out of the scenery, past outside in the yard. How about you take a step back and look exactly at them? We're looking for water damage in the windowsill. We're looking for black mold sprinkled throughout. We're looking for if they even close properly or that creates a draft. There's all kinds of things that could be wrong with this, and it is a huge oversight for buyers. Don't be one of those people. Plus, if it's before you close on the deal, you can totally use it as a negotiating tactic. So stand above, because that little glass window can end up costing you $500 per piece or $10,000 to $15,000 for a whole household. Let's be smarter, work together, and get away from this expense. All right, we're looking for number 2, the scenery outside. We're checking for tree status right now. I know that I live in the Pacific Northwest, and one of the huge selling points sometimes can be how beautiful the backyard is. But at the same time, those trees can be working against you. Let's make sure and check out the quality of the tree, whether it has a lot of dead limbs hanging off from it, or it's too tall and it could potentially take out your roof or your car. Let's check out how much sap drips all over your car, because that's a paint ruiner for sure. Trust me, I know. We also know that tree removal can be expensive, especially if you want an arborist or somebody that specializes in it. I'd say on average it costs $1,500 to remove a tree, and then you got to buy the stump grinding too to get rid of all the remnants of it in your yard. That can be another $500. So let's just stick with it, realize what's in your backyard, literally, and watch out. This is probably my least favorite one on the list, but we're going to talk about the creepy crawlies. Spiders and ants and cockroaches, oh my. Not about that life, but we do need to be aware of it. Especially in the Pacific Northwest, houses are usually built more in a forest atmosphere, so it's no crazy thing for the wildlife to try to get in, and the smallest ones to get in, especially ants with food being dropped around. But spiders, they just start to congregate after spring, because I know that April showers bring May flowers and lots of insects. So make sure that you don't have a pest infestation, because that can be hundreds of dollars to either bug bomb your house or set up a pest plan for somebody to come in and monthly make sure that there isn't any more infestation. Realize what's going on in your house. I'm not even going to touch base on termites though. 4, I was just out the other day looking at houses, and I was out with a client, and they strategically pointed out that there were no sidewalks in the entire neighborhood. And for a lot of us, it doesn't really occur that is a want and need, but if you have small children learning to ride their bike, or you're playing outside with them, if you're walking your pets, or even if you're a jogger. It's huge to have sidewalks to be safe on, that you're not constantly looking around and being scared of cars running you over. So just know that if you're in a neighborhood without a sidewalk, see how that would affect your life and be aware of the surroundings. 5. I can personally admit that I'm addicted to HGTV. And it's better that I don't have cable, but if I did, I would watch it constantly. I only get a little bit of dosage at the gym when I'm on the treadmill, so I gotta work for my HGTV. But if there are fellow people that are addicted to it, don't fall into the trap where your house is so out of date, you get so inspired that you want to renovate it on your own. If this is your first house and this is your first renovation, just know that it takes a lot more time and a lot more effort than you will ever anticipate. And even though your heart's in a good place, will you really be able to take the time and energy to do all these renovations? Where will your children be? Are you okay with living in a half renovated house? All these questions swirl in your head. I'm just here to give you a nice little reality check and make sure that you're okay with this circumstance.
So we're gonna take a look at number 6, smelling odors.
Just know that whether it's an overwhelming amount of Febreze in the air, pie in the oven, cookies baking, or it just actually does smell terrible, that no amount of opening the windows and doors to let the house air out will freshen it up. Sometimes it's just built into the walls. And later on, you're going to have to probably pay out of pocket to get somebody to come investigate it to see exactly what is causing this odor. Just be knowledgeable that it's not an easy fix, and it could down the road cost you a lot more than you anticipate. So don't buy a smelly house. As you're out and about looking at the trees surrounding the areas and any pet infestation, you should also be looking for number 7, and that would be the surrounding land around the house. Is your house at the top of the hill, or does all the land point to your house? Because I know during rainy season, you want the rain to go away from your house, not pour into your basement and flood it. Now, I am from Seattle, so rain is no stranger to us, and this isn't an often problem that people face, but I do know that other parts of the country, you don't have rainstorms as often, so you're not well aware of the effects that a rainstorm can have, and that can leave you with a hefty bill of getting your basement pumped. So just be aware of the land around it and rainy season. Number 8. Now, before we go any further, if any of these numbers before 8 cause you to have some aha moments like, I should remember to ask that, or I should have asked that, then you should definitely do me a courtesy and leave a little comment down below with the number telling me which one caught you off guard. But anyways, back to number 8. A great indicator of what kind of neighborhood a neighborhood is, is the type of cars in it. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to look for Porsches and Mercedes and Teslas everywhere to tell you that you're moving to a good spot. I'm just telling you that the way somebody takes care of their car can tell you a little bit about the way they take care of their house and how the neighborhood will grow in the coming years. And if these cars are run down, broke down, haven't moved in a while, that could tell you a little bit more about what's going on in the neighborhood without even asking. Number 9. Wow, you're investigating your neighbor's car? Why don't you just go straight to the source and investigate your neighbor? Not only can they give you positives and negatives about the neighborhood that maybe nobody else can, but also it gives you a little insight to the actual neighbor. Because just in case you didn't know, a little known statistic is that you will, on average, spend 7 years at this house. So be aware of who you're going to spend it next to and who you'll have to deal with further down the road. Number 10. We made it! Number 10 is how long have those appliances been in that house? Just in case your house has been around the block, been there for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years, you might want to look into this because each appliance has their own age of life and their own expense that comes with it, and their own maintenance, and a lot of people don't know any of these. Because we don't want the furnace and the washer and dryer and the dishwasher all going out at the same time on you 2 years later. But I will say that when you get services with me, it's standard to have a 1-year warranty, home warranty. So make sure that that's either somewhere in your negotiating tactics, your real estate agent has your back, or you're well aware of the age and the price of each of your appliances, so you are not having to pay this out of pocket for the coming years. We made it, now you know all 10. You're much further than most home buyers out there, and I hope that you write these questions down or they help you out in the future. Now, if any of those were aha moments, like I mentioned before, just leave me a number down below. If not, then just leave me a comment about any questions, concerns, or ideas you have for future videos. And if none of that works, then just leave me a like. I appreciate you. I'm Ella with Ella Estate Realty, and have a wonderful day.